On a desolate highway cutting through an endless desert, there stood an old run-down motel known to truckers as the Lonesome Motel. At first glance, it seemed like an ordinary stop. A shabby exterior, flickering neon lights, and a sign promising cheap rooms. However, in the nearby town, hushed whispers told of strange events tied to one specific room. Room 9. Rumor had it that guests who stayed in Room 9 often disappeared. Some believed they were victims of robberies. Others swore the room was cursed, but no one had solid evidence. What everyone agreed on was that no one wanted to spend the night there. David, a young journalist desperate for a breakout story, decided to investigate. He had read about the motel on an urban legend forum, and the tales of missing people seemed like the perfect hook. Arriving at the motel at sunset, he parked his car and requested Room 9. The receptionist, an older man with a weary expression, looked at him uneasily. "Are you sure?" The man asked in a low voice. "We haven't rented out that room in years," David insisted, brushing off the man's concerns. Reluctantly, the receptionist handed him the key but gave him a cryptic warning. "If you hear anything, don't open the door." Room 9 was unremarkable. A small bed, an old TV, and a dimly lit bathroom. David set up his camera in the corner to record throughout the night, hoping to capture something supernatural. At midnight, while reviewing the initial footage, he heard a faint tapping on the wall. He assumed it was the wind or an animal. Moments later, the tapping grew louder and more insistent, as if someone was pounding from the other side. Curious, David began inspecting the wall and discovered a hidden door, concealed by peeling paint. Carefully, he opened it and found a narrow, pitch-black corridor. The air was thick, and the metallic scent of rust filled his lungs. At the end of the hallway stood a heavy metal door, its surface stained with dark, crusted smears resembling dried blood. Holding his camera tightly, he walked forward. Inside, he found a large, dimly lit room filled with rusty tools and walls splattered with what looked like blood. In the center of the room was a metal table with frayed straps, and in the corner a monitor displayed live feeds of every motel room, including his. David froze when he saw the feed of his room. A hooded figure stood by his bed, staring directly at the camera. A sound of footsteps snapped him out of his shock. Turning around, he saw the hooded figure holding a large, rusted knife. Heart racing, David bolted back toward the hallway, but the door to his room was now locked. He pounded on it, screaming for help. As the figure approached slowly, the knife dragging along the ground. Weeks later, David's camera was found abandoned in the desert next to his car. The footage captured everything: the hidden room, the tools, the monitor, and his final moments before the camera hit the ground with a thud. His body was never recovered, but the Lonesome Motel shut down shortly after. Years later, authorities discovered that Room 9 connected to an underground tunnel system where human remains were uncovered.